Welcome to the recap of Miss Universe Thailand 2025. I am so excited to bring you this specific recap. I feel like things from the top of the show were fabulous, and I also feel like this year's edition is a preview of the spectacular production we are going to get for Miss Universe 2025. So as we've learned, Nawat will be producing that show, and all things aside and opinions about Nawat aside, he does produce really great shows, and it's clearly not just him, it's his entire production team. So really that credit should go to all of the stage managers, producers, set directors, choreographer. All of those people are really making this show possible, and they're doing fabulous work. So the top of the show was so stunning. The stage was incredible. We had this really cool runway shooting out into the audience, and the opening was, I felt like it was taking us back to the 2000s at Miss USA or Miss Universe when we would see these incredible stage productions and there would be dancers and musicians. We were seeing that again. The low-level fog was stunning, the live orchestra, the ladies coming on stage, and there was just huge numbers of the contestants and great choreography, and then you also got to see everybody walking down the runway. That's what the show should really be about. They're about showcasing the contestants. The other thing about this is that if you notice the beginning of the show, the outfits were pretty simple, and that reminds me again a lot of the 2000s. We saw a lot of really simple wardrobe and attire, but the entire production would make up for that. And so I really loved this. I thought it was such a strong opening. It was fabulous. Congrats to the entire production team. You did such an incredible job. I love that we had a former Miss Universe hosting the show. It made a lot of sense. Since we don't have an outgoing Miss Universe Thailand, Natalie has stepped in and she's been a part of the events, showcasing the new crown, and she's just so classy, so elegant. She lives in Thailand, if you didn't know, and it just makes a lot of sense here. She did a fantastic job. For our first cut of the show, obviously we have the swimsuit competition. I love how the ladies emerged though, and we got to see a little swimsuit parade going on. They were fabulous. I loved the music. I was literally just like dancing around while I was watching it. It was really great. Then of course we had a lot of different special awards, and one special award that I really appreciated is that they had the side-by-side shot of the national costume winner. And a lot of the times lately in the US, not everywhere, but in the US, you don't even hear anymore about, okay, who won congeniality, who won national costume, who won fan vote. Like, we're missing all of that stuff, and it's really weird because there's always a lot of press around it and like push for all of that on social media, and then you hear nothing. So I really love though that they had that side-by-side shot of our national costume winner, and then of course we had a bunch of just like awards, and Awina won a ton of awards, I would say, as expected. So let's talk about our first cut. I had some performances that really stuck out to me. I wouldn't say that there were really any surprises for me. I think that my overall favorites, the ladies that I was really rooting for, that I wanted to see move forward, that they did make it into the semifinal, at least I would say my core group. I did talk about some contestants in my preliminary recap that were kind of on the edge for me, and it was just like really nice to see though that the ones that I was like, she should be there, they were up there. Contestant number one, let's talk about her. So for me, she's just such a strong contestant, strong competitor, and I would be more surprised if she wasn't in a top 5 or in a top 3. Like, that would be shocking. Seeing her here, not surprising at all. Wonderful showing. I just love that she never feels rushed on stage, and because she's not rushed, she has the ability to really execute every one of her poses, any turn or pivot that she wants to do, and she nails them with precision every single time. She's also beautiful. The hair and the makeup is there. Oh, her body, she just looks so prepared. She's so fit, and she just did a fantastic job. So if you watch the channel, you shouldn't be surprised that I love her here. Number 4, I mentioned in another episode, I thought that she is kind of a doppelganger for Krishna in the Philippines, Miss World Philippines. And I mean, she's absolutely beautiful. That's who she kind of reminds me of. But she had such a wonderful presentation here for finals. And so she's somebody I wasn't surprised to see, but I was glad that she was there. Because I do feel like this year's competition, it was more of like who's fighting for second place. I think that I mentioned that in another episode. It just felt like Weena's year, and I was like, everybody's fighting for second place, but there was some ladies that I still really wanted to see advance to get that recognition and to get that experience on stage, because they can come back. And so when I see her, I hope that she's somebody that's going to come back. Number 6, absolutely loved her, and the moment that I saw her for swim, I was thinking back to seeing her in her preliminary gown performance, because I thought that that was just so fabulous. And honestly, I feel like that's where she really stuck out to me. She was ingrained in my mind after preliminary gown, and so seeing her here, I was so happy. Wonderful performance, nothing over the top, and I feel like that's my message to kind of everybody. Look at how these performers that are moving forward, these contestants, they're not doing anything over the top. So I was really glad that we didn't see any of that, like too much of that grand style carryover and get rewarded during finals, because I want there to be a difference between the systems. Number 8, I was really glad to see her advance here, but I do feel like the styling could have been different. I think that the ponytail was a little bit too big, but she's a great competitor and she had a great performance. So I'm curious if she'll be back as well. Number 9, I just think that she has fantastic eye contact. She did do what I would refer to as a crab walk, where she did this sideways walk, but the audience went crazy for it. For me, it felt quite grand. I think maybe for her it was a signature this year. I would definitely switch it up moving forward if she wants to keep competing, but I still think that she was a great competitor. And this was still a standout performance for me from finals. Number 11, I took a note and I just said yes, 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 yes to all of this. She had such a strong walk and spin turn. There was just no shortage this year of fantastic quality walks. It's just, oh, so difficult. I just feel so bad for all the contestants because it's like I want to crown more ladies, but it's not possible. But they were fabulous. And I really hope that whenever you see really competitive competitions, or if you're a contestant in a scenario, there's not many pageants quite like this, but if you're in that scenario where there's so many good contestants, don't get discouraged, because a lot of times it's just like so close at the end, and it's not really about what you did wrong. A lot of the times you watch a great performance and you're like, she didn't do anything wrong. But as a judge, it's just that somebody else did something that made them stand out just slightly more. And it could have been anything. It could have been timing and music. It just could have been her makeup artist that day. Like, there's so many little things that go into it. So just never be discouraged. And look at Weena. It's her 4th year. Our 12th contestant, yes, 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 obviously big fan fave for me. Excited to see her here. No surprise that she was here. And just, again, another really, really great competitor. Just so strong, and she was just fabulous. No complaints. Number 13 was gorgeous. I do think that she was bouncing a little bit much for my liking, but the quality of walk was there, the posing was there, the confidence, all of that, the eye contact. So still one of my favorite performances from finals. Number 15, so beautiful, and I feel like this was the moment where I was like, okay, all of my favorites are really doing so well for finals, as predicted, as I would think. The other thing that I would say about this is I really love the swimsuits. I thought the swimsuits for prelims were really cute. I thought that these swimsuits were really cute. They were adorable. They worked well with the background and the staging, so whoever made those choices, awesome, great job. I think that she, though, had a wonderful spin turn, lovely hairstyling as well, and so there's just so many great things about this performance. Weena, our queen, once again, the second that she stepped out, I can't quite put it into words, but I really do think it's just her presence and just a readiness, and that this was her moment type of thing. But beautiful, beautiful makeup, beautiful hair, body, just all of those things. Now, she did fall out of her spin turn a little bit, and those are mistakes we don't want to see at Miss Universe. In this case, she was the front runner, and there wasn't much that she had to do to advance to the gown segment of this, but I would be really careful of those little things that would be happening during finals. We want to make sure that the routine is really, really clean and very precise for that. But regardless of that very subtle thing, everything else was beautiful. The eye contact, the posing, the angles. She is hyper aware of where the cameras are, and I was watching that and really paying attention to that in those last moments before they announced. She's so calm and poised, and her level of awareness is very next level. When we had evening gown, our orchestra came back and our singers, and that was fun and fabulous. I just loved it. The show was it was extraordinary. It was really extraordinary. And so let's talk about my favorite gown performances and some gown changes and then some of the same gowns. Number 1, oh my goodness, this is so difficult. The gown is a great choice. I loved it. I'm not sure if there was meaning behind her gown, but wow, the use of that liquid beading and the structure on top is incredible. I'm loving that trend in pageantry where we're seeing kind of like these larger shoulders. I've also seen these trends, I would say, in the wedding industry as well, where I've gone to different shows and seen different designers, and we're seeing the 80s trend, of drop waist and then also large shoulder silhouettes, but we're seeing them done in different ways. And I love that. I love we're getting kind of like that glam again. So this was beautiful. Honestly, perfect performance, great eye contact, walk. She was elegant. It was all there. She was somebody I would easily advance. Number 2, she wore one of my favorite gowns for prelims, and then we're seeing her again in it for finals, which is fine because it's such a fabulous gown. I just actually realized that I loved the hairstyling up more with this. I think it stood out a little bit more. Let me know what you think, but once again, like the walk was so incredible. These performances this year were Miss Universe caliber performances. This is the type of show that I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like this is the type of production that a lot of pageant fans want to see again, where everybody looks beautiful, right? It's not just about the front runners looking great. What makes it exciting is when it's a tight competition, when everybody looks beautiful. And I think that a lot of pageant organizations like miss that, and they're not really concerned about anybody but some of their front runners or certain, people that they really want to work with. And I'm like, no, everybody should look great. You should care about everybody looking great. And she looked fantastic. So beautiful smile, great eyes, and I would love to see her return. Number 3, so elegant. I loved everything about this gown. It was a little bit short. I think the hairstyling was fabulous with it. Just, she took her time. That's another thing. They got a lot of time down the runway, and it was just lovely. It was lovely. This is what I want to see more of in pageantry. Number 6, this gown, another incredible one. The structure, the details, all of it. I was a little bit bummed because the back of the stage was gold, and I do feel like the coloring in this gown did fall flat on stage, but I'm sure that it looked fine in person because of all the stones and all of the glitter. So in person, you just would have basically seen just sparkle, right, on stage. But when you watch it on video, it's like, oh, that gown coloring didn't pop quite as much as it would have on a different color background, like a darker background, or maybe even a white background, or if we had something that was more of like the blues and the purples. But yeah, that's stuff you can't plan for. Either way, though, the performance is what should matter, and it was, there's nothing more that I can ask. Stunning. Number 8, I love that she wore this same gown. I feel like it was super unique, very impactful on stage, frankly, a very iconic look. Like, this is a look that's different from everybody else's. A lot of people complain about the simple metallic gowns, and I'm like, you can't be complaining about hers. She brought something different and unique. I like that she changed the styling. The styling was a lot for prelims, a lot of accessories. So she took off all the necklace and just went with some long, more typical evening gown earrings, and looked absolutely beautiful. Just stunned in this gown. I love that she brought us something different. Weena, I have to say, obviously there's fan favorites in a lot of large pageants, and I just have never heard a crowd erupt for her quite like they did. You can usually hear, it was just wild. I can't even imagine how loud it would have been in the venue. It was incredible. And her evening gown choice, I was waiting. I was like, oh, what is she going to do? So I think that the gown choice was really smart. The metallics, I know, like I said, you guys get so upset about it, but the metallics do really well on stage. I like, though, however, it was really smart that she had kind of these aquamarine colors in her necklace, in her earrings, and the new crown has those same colors. And that seems to be a really effective strategy lately in pageantry. We're seeing a lot of that. Now, somebody did comment somewhere, I can't remember, that she had prepared 7 evening gowns for finals, which wouldn't surprise me at all. I could understand that, once you see the final stage, that could help you kind of choose, okay, what gown should I actually wear and bring to finals? And this was a fabulous gown. It was stunning. I really like that it had a nude corset underneath it that was giving it structure, but that there were all of these really cool cage details is how I would more describe it. It didn't really look like there were, as many things were sewn on. I liked that, and I also really liked that her gown had these metal elements. That's where that structure was coming from, and then these really tiny little feather details to kind of soften it. It was just like, the detail is really what was so impressive about this. But a stunning performance. It just gets me so excited. I can't wait to see what she does at Universe. I can't wait, but I love the jewelry that was added to it. So the jewelry, the subtle touches, it's fabulous. So obviously very well deserved. I want to say thank you so much to my subscriber Jabez. I hope that I'm pronouncing that a little bit correctly, because you provided us with the translations for our top 5. So Without you, what would this episode really be? For our first round of questions that went to the top 5, this is the question. The increasing presence of technologies like robots and artificial intelligence is replacing human labor every day. What values do you think humans still possess that technology cannot replace, and how do you plan to use those values to lead yourself and society forward? Whew, that's a question where you got to take a little breath and you need to plan out that answer in a couple seconds that you do have. That's challenging. Here is essentially what Weena shared. She talked about the undeniability that AI currently has many roles and that there are humans who use AI for both good and bad. She referenced its ethical value. She sees that AI is still being used in the wrong way a lot of times. The value she referenced was ethics. She emphasized that we need to instill ethics from a young age. This part of the translation is a little bit tricky here, but she talked about corruption, call center gangs, and artificial intelligence, and she believes that if we instill ethics education to people of all generations, Thailand will prosper, and we will finally be able to live together peacefully without cyber crime. So this is exactly the direction that when I heard this question that I was expecting contestants to go in. I thought we were going to be talking about ethics, integrity, right versus wrong when it comes to artificial intelligence, pros and cons about how we can use this technology morally. And that's the direction she went with it. I thought it was a great answer, and I think it was a great suggestion to talk about ethics in education. And it needs to start happening for use of technology, not just for AI. I think for the internet and social media in general, we need to have certain policies that kind of everybody agrees to so that we can all use it responsibly. Pathim Tani, I apologize if I am butchering these names. So she actually shared her answer in English, and some of the things that she talked about was that one value it cannot replace is empowerment. It's a light that shines from her to you. She says that it makes you want to change and use your voice for better and change yourself the way that you want to see the world be changed. Her answer was a little shorter than the others, and I'm also not very sure that you can say that empowerment is a value. So it was definitely not the direction that I thought that she would go in, and I just didn't feel like it struck the heart of the audience and the judges. Please forgive me with this pronunciation. I'm embarrassed. Krung Tep. It's rough for me. So her answer though was, what AI can never replace in humans is the care and emotions for mental health. As someone who has questioned her own emotional state and has experienced using AI to inquire about solutions to these problems, the result was that it couldn't help us. Only the practice and conversation with human experts can solve those problems, and I want to use myself as Miss Universe Thailand to support the establishment or be a representative of people who want help to take care of their mental health, including their physical health. Because I firmly believe that taking care of our physical health will improve our minds and it will affect everyone as well. Thank you. Fantastic answer. I loved this answer. I really like the quick example that she gave where she's like, I've had my own experiences managing my mental health, and I've reached out to AI to see if AI could help me, and I feel like nothing quite compares to having that human in-person connection. And there's not really a great way of AI being able to help us with that yet, and we are seeing that. I've seen different news stories about AI and AI just affirming poor behavior because it's not supposed to be an adversary to you. And it's very interesting to see the development of that. And still, at the end of the day, humans are the ones that are programming that AI to respond in certain ways to people. And we're seeing that AI does not always give the best advice for questions that have to do with morals, value, or huge life choices or mental health. Phuket's answer was, certainly in today's society, AI plays a significant role in our society, but one thing that AI cannot replace in humans is feeling. Humans feel pain, which leads to development. Loved that. Humans feel love, which forms a basis of happiness and a good family foundation leading to a better society. Love leads to unity in our country. If there is no love and everyone is not compassionate towards each other, our country will not be able to develop and move forward. AI cannot replace humans in terms of feeling, and I believe that when everyone has love and compassion, our society will have unity and happiness. Fabulous answer. Fabulous. I love this. There were just so many great little little anecdotes you can pull from her answer that were beautiful. Humans feel love, which forms the basis of happiness and a good family foundation. Okay. Delivering an answer like this under pressure is not easy. And once again, like I said, I was waiting to hear answers like this in regards to AI and what humans offer versus what AI offers. And last, Naikon Sai Tamarat. I hope I'm close. She said, without AI, there would be no humans. Without humans, there would be no AI. What I mean is, if there were no humans, there would be no AI today. Humans have only one brain and two hands, yet we were able to create AI to make our lives more convenient. As a contestant in Miss Universe Thailand, the new era, I believe that AI and online platforms can create value for beauty queens and also generate value for organizations to grow and progress. I don't feel like she answered this question. She talked about AI adding value, and I don't know if things got a little bit lost or if she got a little bit off track or was confused, but they were asking about the values that humans possess, not the value that AI can add. And so that tiny distinction, I think, is what really changed her answer. So after the top 5 answered, then they announced our 2 contestants as third runner-up, which were Nakhon Sai Tamarat, and then also Pathum Thani. We narrowed to a top 3, and they all also got the same question, which was, Thailand is about to host representatives from over 130 countries for the 74th Miss Universe competition this November. If you want to send a short message that reflects Thai-ness to the contestants so they know the highlights of being Thai, what would you say? Phuket said, I will tell my fellow contestants that Thai culture is second to none. Every region has its own unique culture, and I think what I would say is I would like to invite everyone to support and promote Thai culture. I would say that our Thailand has a beautiful culture, and I would like to invite everyone to visit. Thank you very much. I feel like she started going in circles with this answer. It seemed like the nerves kind of got to her, or maybe she was like, what in the world can I even talk about? I just need to say something. That was my impression of this answer. Also, not just from what she was saying, but watching how she delivered it. Krung Tep. She said, I believe that all Thai people from every nation around the world have seen the highlights of Thai people is their loveliness and being good hosts. Therefore, what I can say is that I want everyone to come back to Thailand, compete, and enjoy Thai-ness in every way, including food. And I would like to say that as a representative of Thailand, we are ready to welcome you. Thank you. So I feel like this was good. I feel like it was very generic, and I wish that we would have maybe heard some kind of, something that really is meaningful to her when it comes to Thai culture, or something she's very proud of. Now we have our winner, and I have some stuff to say about this, so stay tuned. She said, the first thing I would say is welcome to the city of culture. Thailand has many traditions and most importantly, delicious food. Smiles are the city of culture. We welcome tourists of all genders and all ages, and we have beaches to fully serve everyone. Come visit Thailand because you will only receive fun and happiness along with a smile to take back home. So I loved this, and the reason that I loved this is because she used a strategy that I encourage my own clients to use. So if you go back to this question, they're asking, what is the message that you would like to share? If you get a question in a pageant that is asking you to share a message to a group of people, an audience, or a specific person, pretend like you are directly addressing that person or group. Like you're looking at them in the face and you're telling them exactly what you want to share with them. It is a great and effective strategy that I've seen win multiple times. Listen to how she did this. She first started by saying, the first thing I would say is, welcome to the city of culture. It feels like she was actually welcoming us. She is talking directly to us, the audience, either the tourist or in this case, the group of contestants. It really could be either or, all of the people that will be visiting Thailand. Then she gave us a little bit of an overview here. She talked about Thailand being a country with traditions, the delicious food. She said smiles are the city of culture. She mentioned the welcoming of all tourists. She talked about a natural resource, which is their beaches, and she said, we have beaches for everyone. And so she's thinking about everyone in this message. And then I love that she wrapped everything up by saying that you're going to be able to take a smile home with you. right? So she basically was this live tourism ad. And that increasingly has become a bigger part of pageantry, I would say specifically in our Asian countries, where tourism dollars are really important for a lot of these countries or islands. And so there is this culture of welcoming people to their island, to their country, because they can benefit from that. A lot of the people can benefit from that. I mean, there are pros and cons, that's a different conversation. But tourism can be a really great way of bringing more revenue into the economies. And so now title holders have become these spokespersons for their country. And a lot of times tourism boards are sponsoring these pageants. And so your new winner is going to be working directly with these tourism boards, and she is going to be delivering the message of the tourism boards to tourists throughout her year of reign. And so this just felt like she was already working for the tourism board. It was smart. Let's talk about our results. Crowning, I would say, went very smoothly here. Phuket was our second runner-up. Krung Thep was our first runner-up, and that means our new queen going to Miss Universe in Thailand is Saraburi Weena. Congratulations to her. This was fabulous. I'm so excited. I can only imagine the relief that she felt because it's been such a long journey, and I would say she was beautiful before, and she was just so well prepared this time. She left no stone unturned, and she just had a really, really beautiful performance every step of the way and has got a lot of support. And for me, she is a front runner for Miss Universe. If you don't already know, she also speaks English fluently. And I feel like sometimes that has held back some Thai contestants, and I would say some Venezuelan contestants, where things get a little bit lost in translation and they're not able to deliver an answer that's as strong as they would if it were in their native language. But that's why having a contestant or having a title holder that does speak multiple languages fluently can be a really big asset for them. And I feel like Thailand has been very, very close to getting a Miss Universe, and this could be the year, but more on that later. I'll have to create some other episodes. Thank you for joining me for this one, and let me know what you would like to see next.